Well, I've been using LinkedIn often to just market. So when I came across the contest, I thought it was intriguing, and I read it one or two times to see, if it was of interest to me. And I'm a person who puts things aside and then thinks about it. And I think it was the next day or so I responded. I did see one response on LinkedIn. I think the first one was, "Well, I know you'll choose me because I'm so dynamic," or something. And I thought, oh, please, give me a break. So I did think that was a little funny, and I was like, well, I'm not sure I would actually go in with that attitude, because that's not who I am. The first thing that really happened for me when I was going through the process of the book, doing the book, was I think everybody knows about working in their business and on their business, but I think it made me really center and say, well, maybe I have to look at me and work with me and sort of put my focus, since I'm driving where my business is going, to really stay centered on me to be the stronger driver. You talked about faith through the book, and it really resonated with me. I sort of try to live my life in a way that is uplifting to other people, and I thought that the way you weaved that through the book was really lovely. I thought the skills test was quite interesting to go through. After reading the skills test, the way you presented up to it, it was interesting, because I realized what I enjoy is what I'm trying to develop in my business. I probably knew a lot of those skills, but it was really interesting as I read them. I was going, that's me. So that was sort of a nice confirmation that I'm going in the right direction for me. I was sitting at home reading the Charlotte Business Journal, and they had a little piece on new businesses around the marriage industry, and copied and pasted it and forwarded it to Shay Prosser. She was at Merrill Lynch at the time. And all I said was, what do you think about this? I grew a lot while I was in management. I never felt like I was a leader, and everyone sees me as a leader. I love it and I embrace it. God, why is everybody looking to me? It feels good. Even as a manager, I always felt it was my job to make them better. Get It Together, we offer workshops giving legal and financial education, because I have a legal background, and I've seen too many plans fall apart because legal documents haven't been implemented. So whether you sit down and talk with the best financial planner in the world, if you don't have the right legal documentation to support it, your plan may not be carried through. We feel the legal and the financial are so intricately tied together that it's very difficult to separate them. By doing the workshop, we brought it down to a general education level without giving broad advice. We educate and tell. And if someone asks for specific advice, I usually turn the question around and ask what they think, because people generally know what's right for them. They just need to start to trust that instinct in themselves. We don't ever want to get to the point where we give that advice that is so broad that is irrelevant. My vision for Get It Together is to ultimately provide coaching to help people follow through, to make sure that they have the support they need to put their financial plan in order and get their legal documents in order. Our goal is to really break it down to say, it's not as hard as you think it is. It's not a sales pitch. It doesn't feel, my job doesn't feel like a sales pitch, it's a passion. Well, the big buzzword in HR benefits is wellness. And there's I think a very limited view of wellness. We can lower our cholesterol, we can lose 10 pounds or stop smoking. But underlying it all is financial health. Financial health directly affects physical health. There have been plenty of studies. The amount of hours that an employee spends worrying or spending on their financial time. Virginia Tech does a lot of good work in productivity. They say it's about 20 hours a month of company time that's spent on personal issues and finances. The return on investment, which is so many times how a company will look at things, is very high on financial education. I think to broaden your view of wellness, to include this, would actually be a bigger return on your bottom line than worrying about what someone's cholesterol is. What drives me is, I'm seeing people lose their houses. I'm seeing friends of mine who are just struggling so much, and they were paycheck to paycheck before, and now there's no paycheck. For me, because I understand the system and how it works, there are really simple steps people can do to take control of that so they're not so dependent on everything else.